Another important business objective, after we have had the opportunity to bring the customer's understanding on how it is that we apply due care, and we're actually walking the high moral ground as a result, because we are very careful about not selling something prematurely. We also want to be thorough, because vehicles are carrying very precious cargo, and that's our family and our children and maybe our friends' children. So we take it very seriously about tire rotations and inflation and how the brakes are and what shape they are. And so all of these things build that loyalty that we're seeking. Another objective that we're taught has to do with increasing car count. Now, you can increase car counts a couple of ways. You can go and look for new customers, or you can hold on to the ones you have. We always need to do a combination of the two of these, because our customers do move, or they buy new vehicles, or we just lose them for other reasons. So the idea is, how do we do the best job possible in retaining the customers we have? Because it is proven that, depending on who you ask, it's between 17 and 30 times more expensive to go and find a new customer than to hang on to the ones you have. Another interesting thing about top-notch customer care is that a satisfied customer will bring you his family and friends. And that is how you find new customers, as opposed to using loss leaders. And any type of loud advertising is really ineffective. So increasing car count is a factor of maintaining the customers we have, attracting new customers, and then there's another element which is sometimes poorly understood. When you provide fleet service tracking for your customers, and you have a process at the front counter which includes reporting and an explanation to the customer on how we are now tracking the vehicle, and we go further and we say, look, based on the 19 miles you're driving per day, the next oil change you're going to need is, according to the system, it's doing the math for me, it's going to be January 3rd. May I take the lead and make an appointment for you, as a part of our proactive approach to preventive maintenance. Now, of course, a lot of you will be thinking, oh, well, that won't work with a whole bunch of customers, and that's true. Let's assume that half of my customers say, George, I don't care what you're doing, I'm going to drive my car into the ground before you see me next. The other half, which says, George, this is great, sure, go ahead and make the appointment. What I am doing now is I'm taking the lead on behalf of my customer, bringing them in as necessary, and Service Intelligence adjusts itself to the type of oil they use. So, for example, if they use synthetic oil, now it's 5,000 or 6,000 mile interval. They'll project it till February or March before they need to come back. Further endearing the customer to me, because I don't bug them, they only come in as necessary. And it's this way that we end up increasing our car count, because the shop that understood this from the training, if they were lucky to go to training or this was intuitive, kudos to you, because if you have a calendar and you enter the next appointment on behalf of your customers, you will increase your car count tremendously. The average driver goes to the shop 1.5 times a year, whereas by pre-scheduling it, and if it's between 4 months or so between visits, you go from 1.5 visits to 3 visits. That's the equivalent of doubling the number of visits on half of your customers. So if you are a shop that does 200 cars per month and you start scheduling your customers, and let's assume that half of them refuse to schedule something, the other half will be the equivalent of an additional 100 vehicles per month. So you will go from 200 vehicles to 300 vehicles per month without a single new customer.